I asked you to vote for the IELTS speaking topics you find most challenging. And in this video, we're going to talk about those which received the most votes. For each topic, you'll hear sample answers and learn some useful vocabulary to help you improve your answers. It's Asia. Let's get started. The first topic that most people voted to cover today is geography. Are you good at reading maps? I'd say I'm pretty adept at reading maps. My parents and I used to go hiking all the time when I was growing up, so I've had plenty of practice. I must say it took me some time to improve my map reading abilities. Now let's have a look at the vocabulary in this answer. Adept means good at doing something that is quite difficult. You can say to be or become adept at or in something. I've become adept at reading maps. My parents and I. When you're talking about a group of people, including yourself, mention other people first. John and I went to the shop, not I and John, which is impolite. Of course, you can say I went to the shop with John. Used to do something. This phrase means that something happened frequently or was a regular habit in the past, but no longer occurs. We used to go hiking means we don't go hiking anymore. The next question is, have you studied geography at school? I sure have. Geography was compulsory at my school, so I learned about my own country as well as the world. We covered everything from physical geography, which deals with the natural environment, to human geography, which looks at how people interact with their surroundings. I found it fascinating. Compulsory means must be done because of a law or a rule. You can say mandatory. Compulsory or mandatory subjects at school are the subjects that all students take. Compare them to optional subjects that only some students choose to take. Certain courses are compulsory, while others are optional. Now, have a look at the use of tenses in this answer. The question is in the present perfect, so is the first part of the answer. I sure have. The speaker is highlighting the result that is still relevant to the present. In the rest of the answer, we use the past simple to describe a completed action in the past. Next, do you think it's important to study geography? Or, absolutely, with all the environmental and social issues we're facing, it's more important than ever to have a good understanding of geography. Plus, it gives you such a cool perspective on different cultures and ways of life. Have a look at the beginning of this answer. Instead of giving the straightforward answer, yes, I do, you can use the words absolutely or definitely. It's more important than ever. This is a good alternative to saying it's very important. To give a perspective. This means to provide a particular point of view or way of looking at something. These phrases show the examiner that you can use English flexibly and naturally. And our next question is, would you visit a country because of its geographical location? Definitely. The geography of a place can make it so much more interesting and unique. Whether it's a tropical beach or a mountainous region, the natural features of a place can really shape its character and vibe. I have a long bucket list of countries I'd love to explore based on their geographical features. The vibe is a feeling or atmosphere that someone or something gives. A bucket list is a list of things a person wants to do or achieve in their lifetime. It's common to talk about your travel bucket list. For instance, seeing sakura in Japan is firmly on my bucket list. This year I've missed it, so maybe next year. By the way, you don't need to write anything down. You can get sample answers and vocabulary for over 40 IELTS speaking topics, including today's materials, in our IELTS speaking library, the PDF book available on our website. This is our latest product, and we see amazing feedback from students who already bought it. We also have a free version with questions only, without sample answers and vocabulary, on our Telegram channel. Both are linked in the video description. Our next topic is jewelry. Please note that there are two possible spellings, British and American versions, but the pronunciation is the same. Jewelry. The noun is uncountable. You can't count it. This means you can't use it with an indefinite article a or form the plural form. Just say jewelry. If you want to give the number, say a piece of jewelry. So, do you wear any jewelry? These questions are the same for both male and female students, so I've prepared answers that could work for most people. I don't wear a lot of jewelry on a daily basis, but I do have a few pieces that I wear for special occasions. For example, I have a watch that I wear almost every day, both for practical reasons and as a style accessory. I also have a few necklaces and rings that I wear occasionally, usually when I want to add a bit of personality to my outfit. First of all, pay attention to the collocation, to wear jewelry. As a noun, jewelry is uncountable, so we talk about pieces of jewelry. Style accessory, that's something that is worn to complement one's personal style or outfit, rather than for practical purposes. And an outfit is a set of clothing items worn together to create a specific look or style. Several times in your part 1, you hear this question, why or why not? Well, I'm not someone who likes to wear a lot of jewelry or anything too flashy. I prefer to keep things simple and understated. I think jewelry can be a great way to express your personal style and add some interest to your outfit. But it shouldn't be the focus. At the end of the day, I want people to notice me for who I am and what I have to say, not for what I'm wearing. To be someone who, or not to be someone who, is a phrase used to describe a trait or characteristic that a person identifies with. She's someone who values honesty. I'm not someone who wears a lot of jewelry. Flashy means attracting attention by being bright, expensive, large, and it's disapproving. Understated is something that is subtle or modest in appearance or behavior, usually intentionally so. At the end of the day is a phrase used to indicate that considering all the facts, a particular decision is ultimately the most important. The next question is, have you received jewelry as a gift? Indeed, I have. When I turned 18, my parents gave me a watch as a coming-of-age present. It was a really special gift that I still wear today, almost every day. I think jewelry can be a really meaningful gift, especially if it has some sentimental value. It's something that you can wear and cherish for years to come, and it can serve as a reminder of the person who gave it to you. A coming-of-age present is a gift given to a young person when he or she becomes an adult, often on their 18th birthday. A sentimental value is the emotional or personal significance that something holds. This watch is so old, but it has a sentimental value for me. To cherish is to value or appreciate something deeply, often due to its sentimental value. We can talk about a moment or a memory to cherish. To serve as a reminder, means that when we see this object, we remember about a particular person or experience. Next. What kind of jewelry do people wear in your country? You should think about your answer to this question, but I want to give you some essential vocabulary to talk about jewelry. So, necklaces are usually worn around your neck. So watches and bracelets are worn on the wrist. Earrings are worn on the earlobe. And rings are worn on your fingers. Cufflinks are typically worn by men to fasten the cuffs on their shirts. And gemstones are precious stones used in jewelry. Would you buy an expensive piece of jewelry? It really depends. First, I would have to absolutely love the piece and feel confident that I would wear it often and for a long time. I wouldn't want to spend a lot of money on something that would just sit in my jewelry box collecting dust. I would also consider the occasion. For example, I might be more willing to splurge on a special piece for a milestone birthday or anniversary. And I would also consider my budget. While I might be willing to invest in a high-quality piece I really love, I wouldn't want to break the bank. So, some vocabulary. A jewelry box is a container used to store your jewelry. To splurge is to spend a lot of money on something you don't really need. A milestone birthday is, for example, your 30th or 50th birthday. To break the bank is an idiom which means to want to spend a large amount of money, often more than one can afford or justify. Our next topic is art. Do you like art? Yes, I really like it because I find it interesting and it can evoke a lot of emotions. Also, it's fascinating to see how artists express themselves through their work. To evoke is to bring a feeling or memory to the surface, to cause someone to feel or remember something. To express yourself is to communicate your thoughts or ideas in a way that reflects your own personality or perspective. What kind of art do you prefer? Painting, sculpture, or something else? I like painting most because I enjoy the colors and the way the images are created. It's amazing how artists can make their paintings look so real and vivid. Vivid means bright and strong in color, something that stands out and is really noticeable. Do you prefer modern or traditional art? I prefer modern art because it's unique and innovative. Traditional art is good, but modern art is more interesting to me due to its unique style and the fresh message it conveys. So, modern art is art created in recent times that often breaks away from traditional styles. In traditional art, is art that follows established styles and techniques passed through history. To convey a message, for example, is to communicate an idea or feeling through words or through art. Did you do art when you were young? I loved drawing when I was a kid. I'd spend hours sketching and coloring. It was definitely one of my favorite hobbies, and it's something that I still enjoy doing from time to time. So, to draw is to make a picture or image using a pencil or pen, but not paint. To sketch is to create a quick drawing that captures the basic shape of an object. To color is to put color on your drawing, maybe using paint, markers, or pencils. Have you ever visited an art gallery? Yes, I've been to the largest art gallery in my city a few times, and I found it to be a really relaxing and enjoyable experience. It was amazing to see so many different kinds of art in one place. Do you think it's important for schools to teach art? Definitely. Art can help students develop their creativity and imagination. It's also a great way to express themselves, and it can provide a good balance to academic studies. So, to provide a good balance is to offer a healthy mix of different activities or subjects so one area doesn't dominate the others. Let's talk about space. Do you have interest in space? Definitely. I find space fascinating and love learning about all the different planets and galaxies out there. It's amazing to think about how vast the universe is and how much we still have to discover. Vast means extremely large, and the universe is the whole of space and everything in it. The next question is, have you ever watched a movie or read a book about space? Actually, I watched a few movies and read a couple of books about it. I find them interesting because they give me a glimpse of what it might be like to travel in space. A glimpse is a brief look at something. Which one did you like most and why? I watched a movie called Interstellar and I thought it was really good because it was thought-provoking and it made me think about the future of space travel and the possibility of colonizing other planets. Thought-provoking is something that makes you think deeply and consider new ideas. If you could travel to space, would you want to? Absolutely. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and I would love to see the Earth from space and explore new frontiers. Once-in-a-lifetime experience means a unique event that is unlikely to happen again. And to explore new frontiers is to venture into unknown, physically or intellectually, in order to discover new things. Do you think space exploration is a worthwhile endeavor? Yes, I definitely think so. There is so much we don't know about space, and exploring it can teach us a lot about our own planet and the universe as a whole. Plus, space technology has led to some amazing innovations that benefit us here on Earth, like GPS and satellite imaging. So GPS is the navigation system that uses satellite signals to determine location. And a satellite is this electronic device sent into space that moves around the Earth and sends television signals or radio. How do you think space exploration could benefit humanity? Or it could be useful in many ways. For example, it could lead to the discovery of new resources that could be used to solve environmental problems on Earth. And it could also inspire the new generation of scientists and engineers to pursue careers in STEM fields. So STEM is an acronym for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And it's used to describe fields of study and careers in those areas. Some other topics reported in recent exams are hometown, home, writing versus typing, birthdays, names, and sharing. And we've covered all of these topics in the IELTS Speaking Library, so check it out. The key to showing off your speaking skills and getting the score you deserve is expanding your answers so examiners can see all the skills you have. And I've talked about 4 ways to expand your answers in this video here. Thank you so much for watching me today. Good luck with your preparation and your exam. Bye!